My name is Kala, Arvind Kala. Mr. Modi has ignited such a Hindu resurgence in India that India's 1 billion Hindus walk around with their chests swelled with pride as if they're world conquerors. In reality, ancestry, this business of ancestry and Hindu, Muslim, and Christian, it's very tangled. Now, let me give you my example. I'm a Brahmin from Uttarakhand, Brahmin by blood, etc., and Uttarakhandi by blood, but our ancestry is Maharashtrian, meaning the conventional wisdom which I've heard from childhood onwards that Uttarakhandi Brahmins fled from Maharashtra 300-400 years ago to flee from Muslim persecution, and this may be entirely right because my second name Kala resembles that of Kale in Maharashtra, and these two names Joshi and Pandey is common to both Uttarakhand as well as to Maharashtra. So this may very well be true. But here I come to a point. Do I know who my great grandfather's great grandfather was, or my great grandfather's great grandmother was? No. He or she may have been Muslim or Christian or Tibetan or Maharashtrian or Dalit. And in the same way, Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah cannot prove that their distant ancestors were not Muslims or Christians, whatever. Nobody who goes into genealogy and genome sequencing, etc., etc. So our ancestry, it's a very tangled business. And let Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah not forget this, that Shah and Modi's in Gujarat, the name is common to Muslims also, just like Patel is common to both Hindus and Muslims in Gujarat. So now let me come to say Christians, for instance, Christians of Goa. Now, Goa was colonized by the Portuguese 450 years ago, which means, and 25% of Goans are Christians, which means if they were converted 20 generations ago, 450 years ago, now Mr. Modi and you were 450 years ago, your ancestors were Hindus, so come back to Hinduism. This is your Ghar Wapsi. But by that logic, we human beings have descended from apes. So if the apes start saying tomorrow, "Hey, you human beings, come back to this thing, become apes again because you descended from us." So is Mr. Modi, going to say, "Let's go back to being apes. Let's go back to being apes"? Now, when I talk of ancestry being very, very tangled, does Mr. Modi know? I'm sure he does, that there is a black African community in Gujarat itself, my friends. They're called Siddhis. They're maybe 20,000, 30,000, whatever, and they're as black as a Ugandan African. Now, they must have come to India 200 years ago from Ethiopia or whatever. So everything is very tangled. Or you take, I'm talking about religion and ancestry, etc. Now, Kerala has 26% Muslims. Now, those Muslims and other Keralites, now those Muslims were trading with a non-Muslim Africa before Islam was born. Islam was born only 1600 years ago, but those Muslims and other Keralites have been trading with Muscat and Oman and Yemen and Saudi Arabia for 2000 years. So now you will say, no, those fellows have converted. Well, those people were trading with this before Islam was born. In the same way, I mean, our merchants went to Bali, and in Bali, we established a Hindu community. In fact, there was probably a Hindu community there in most of Indonesia, or Bali certainly, before Islam took over. So now is are Hindus. So, this whole business is very tangled. You are this and you are that, Ghar Wapsi. Of course, it's a political game, Mr. Modi and the BJP. They just want to consolidate the Hindu vote by whipping hate between Hindus and Muslims and Hindus and Christians put together. But where does this get you? I mean, is this all you can do? And is this all you can do? Now, I remember Ghulam Nabi Azad saying something very sensible. He said 600 years ago, his forefathers were also Kashmiri Pandits, till one person became converted to Islam, and then the entire family converted to. That can happen with you, me, anybody at all. Now, for instance, I have a daughter who's married to a Hindu. Now, their daughter, who's also a Hindu, suppose that daughter marries a Muslim. Now, their children, their daughter, if they have a daughter, she will become a Muslim because because the kid's religious is defined by the religion of the father. So that girl becomes a Muslim. Now that girl, and one day that girl marries a Hindu. Now their kid becomes a Hindu again. So one generation Muslim, one generation Hindu, one generation Muslim, one generation Hindu or Christian or whatever. What bloody nonsense is this? I have a friend whose son and daughter, Christian friend in Kerala, whose son and daughter have both married Hindus. Now, as far as his daughter, his Christian son has married a Hindu girl. So Modi, according to Modi's logic, that chap is conducting love jihad against that girl. And but here, when a Hindu marries this Christian girl, then it is not love jihad. So I don't know what kind of rubbish we get into. Now, no way. I mean, the kind of hate that is being preached in India today against Hindus and against Christians and Muslims is it's absolutely disgraceful. I mean, they're being marked out in Madhya Pradesh. There's a census of theirs being taken in Uttarakhand. Their properties are being investigated. So they're not allowed in Gurugram. They're feeling threatened. In Barabanki, they're practicing religion at home, meaning Christian prayer, and they were arrested, etc. I mean, is this all there is to it? I mean, other societies don't do all this. For instance, have we forgotten 9/11? Now, America probably has 8-10 million Muslims, if not more, maybe 20-25 million Muslims. Now, 9/11 happened. That was the first attack on continental America in the last 100 years ever in its history. But and there, as I said, there are 20-25 million Muslims. Who did one single white attack any of those Muslims? That all the attackers, 26 attackers, were all Muslims? No, that didn't happen at all. So why does hate come here? In fact, the history of economics also shows that where societies are peaceful and everybody is at peace, they progress. Now look at in America again, for instance. In India, Indians form about 1% of the population, and they're around 4 million or whatever, and they earn much more than the whites also do. And 90% of those Hindu Indians in NRIs in America are Hindus. But do we ever do those Christians ever say, "Hey, you Hindus, you outsiders, you are bloody earning more than us. What the hell are you doing?" And there's nothing of that kind of hate. But here, it just keeps happening. I don't know why we've gone into this, and Ghar Wapsi, etc., etc. I mean, come on, yaar. It's just pathetic. I think we should move on. Is after 9 years of rule, is this all there is that Mr. Modi can offer? Come on, Mr. Modi, do a little better, huh? Okay, folks, if you like this video, please send it to everybody you know. Adios. See you later, alligator.